Well, hi guys, hopefully this finds you very well. My name's Paul, this is Plan Zed, and welcome to this little session where today we're going to be diving back into the 5051 or the 5150 and the patches that we were discussing before. I wanted to do this video like the next day, but unfortunately or fortunately I was asked to do another couple of videos on other subjects relating to ToneX. Now, if you're subscribed to the channel for ToneX, thank you very much for your support and curiosity. But likewise, if you supported for GT1000 content, don't panic. I will be coming back into here, but I want to get this to a level where I can start shooting things out the way I described to you before. And we're going to be diving into signs and effects over the next few videos as well. But at the beginning of this video, I want to address something that's come up with the Boss GT1000 and also just explain to you what we're going to be doing in this session. We've got 6 patches of the same patch that I've just done slightly different things to, and I'm going to talk to you about that in a minute. We're using a combination of playing with gain, and in the second group of 3 patches, we're changing cabinets, VIR and model, playing around with microphones, resonance, things like this. So let's start out. We're on the back pickup of a Les Paul standard. I've got my hands off the neck. I'm going to bring up the gain pot. I'm going to go to my high gain patch. Now, the reason I've done this is a guy has asked, and I need to be clear with you, I haven't finished playing with my noise suppression yet. Just going to save that there. Now I'm not touching the guitar at all. Got my gain pot up full. I'm in the high gain, or in a 5150 patch that comes stock standard with your ToneX. But I've moved things around, and with this one I've got everything at 50, but I've got the input gain on 37, which is the gain knob for that's right here, and then the level here. If I come into here, I've got the level at 70. All right, and you can hear there's no noise. Now, the thing that came up in the last video is when I was working down in this area, I was going through patches where I haven't touched yet. I haven't gone through the noise suppression. And when I was going through this guy was saying, hey, I've noticed you're getting the same problem that we're getting, and it's come up in the forum. I want to kind of explain to him, look, at the moment, now I've got things leveled in here and I've got my noise suppression working, I'm silent. I've got, a full gain pot, back pickup, can hear it spitting away a little bit there. If anyone's got any tips, I'm not used to using noise suppression, if I'm honest with you. We've got noise suppressor in GT1000, but not a noise gate. And I didn't ever use a noise gate back in the day when I had my Marshall. So what I've done is I want to bring this into a level where I'm maybe, for a rhythm patch, have one noise suppression, and then for a lead, have another. All right, but I don't want to get too distracted with that in this video, because really my focus, working towards that in a way, I suppose, because I want to hear the full of the amp, is what's going on. So if you'll remember, in the last session on the 5150, I've got one where I've got the gain on 10, and here the model level's on 70 as well. The treble's on 50, but the bass is up at 55. I found when I took the level out of the input gain, this knob here, I'm referring to it as input gain, remembering my trim is on 0, and I'm managing the input trim using the input gain as per the last series of videos. So what I'm hoping for here is just 3 different feelings of gain that I can play with and experiment with further, okay? So the one in the middle is got its gain, sorry, bear me a moment, has got its gain on 20, and the level is on 66, look. But I've got the bass up to 55, I think. Yeah, the bass is on 55. And the treble is flat, the mids are flat. There's no adjustment to the depth or the presence. They're both on 50. And the reason I've done that is because I want to understand things before I start playing around with those frequencies, okay? So what I've done is those 3 patches, and then I've taken a copy of this A, and then done another version of it. Now this is the thing I wanted to work towards when I started doing the 50-51 with you, is we're going to get very little control out of the treble, bass, mids. We'll get some control, but it's not like an amp. It's a capture, isn't it, or a model capture type technology. You know, I'm new to all of this terminology, so excuse me if I get it wrong. But here I changed the cabinet to and you'll see it's still orange, so we're still in the models cabinets where we don't have control over microphones. Here I picked a punchy plexi just to, you know, stick something a bit different on there. Now it's set up exactly the same way, albeit what I haven't done is the adjustment that I just made to the other one with the noise suppression, but the level I've brought down to 55. It was because it's punchier, I can have it lower in my mix. It's punchier in the mids, okay? But the EQ, everything is the same as I was showing you in the last video where I was setting up different patches and trying to get them to a starting point. Now the one that's next to it, this one, you'll notice we've gone green here on the cabinet. Now, this is a VIR cab, so when we come into here, let's go into the cabinets, VIR. I've got a 412, and I've used the 1960, which I'm assuming is something like a 1959 Marshall. Now I'm going to go through these and listen to them, but I want to talk you through some fundamentals before I do. So coming out of there, what I've then done is a copy of that patch, because in here we've got control over microphones. We're going to talk about that in a moment. I copied this patch when I dialed in the mics to here, but I just want to show you before I did that, this level here had to come up to 80 to hit the same spot. Okay, we're going to talk about this in a minute. So this is a copy of that patch, but this time we've got 412 RKV, alright, and in here the model level is at 77, so slightly lower than the other one, so it's a slightly louder cabinet. And what I want to get you into the habit of is, let's just turn that down, is of getting into the habit of, you're going to tweak one thing, you're always, almost 99% of the time, going to need to tweak something else. Think in twos. So when you're adjusting your lows, you might need to adjust your highs. When you're adjusting a cabinet, you put a different cabinet on, you might need to adjust your level. Because there'll be different frequencies being pushed. For example, low end frequencies create a lot more level through your signal, and high end, we perceive it louder, but its signal isn't as strong as low end frequency. Okay, so let's just bring that pickup up. Now coming into here, let's just change that mode, just drop that noise suppression a bit. Let's go back there, maybe a touch more. Still hear it there. I've got my hand. I can hear it just clicking away a little bit. I want to look at that deeper, but I don't want to waste time on that in this session. I just want to clean it up a bit, because we've got deeper settings in that, not just the threshold. So here, let's go back up. I just want to point out here we've got model level. If I scroll all the way to the end, we've got our frequencies, we've got our reverb, and then it stops. You can't scroll anywhere further. When we've got the VIR on, we've got more controls. If I carry on scrolling after color now, I've got resonance, mic 1, X axis for that mic, Z axis for that mic, a second mic, the same X, Z for that mic, and then a balance. Okay. Now at the moment, I've got the balance where I'm favouring mic 1 slightly more than mic 2. Mic 1, I've got the ribbon on, which is a ribbon 121. Okay. And mic 2 is the dynamic, which is a 57. I could get a slightly different tone if I wanted, just by moving the mics around, changing the mics, okay? So this is all EQ stages that we want to be thinking about as we're building our tone. Before we start cracking around with our depth and our presence, let's understand some of the kind of where the basic levels sit and how they sound. So here with the microphone, the X-axis is from center of the cone to the edge of the cone, and the Y-axis is from the front of the cabinet to the other side of the room, if that makes sense, or away rather than left to right. So here I've started out, we have no idea what 2.5 is, and if this is a percentage off or whatever. I'm just trying to use my ears. Let's go back into there. It annoyingly comes out of there. We've got 2.5 on the ribbon 121. And if I go to the 57, I've got that on 20. Okay, let's just quickly look at the distance. Now I've used real world principles. I've kept my distances the same at 0.5. Just pulled it away a touch from the cabinet. Let's just put that on top of the cabinet. So let's come out of there and do the same to this one. I would do that in the real world for phasing issues. Don't know if it'd be the same in here, but kind of almost prefer that more direct like that. So I'm going to leave that on 0, I think. Just make a very quick change. And then I'm going to come over to the mix and show you what's going on here. So if I go all the way to the left, we're only hearing mic 1. And obviously, as we go through that, we get variant. So this is the ribbon 121. If I come all the way the other way, we get just the 57. Excuse my playing, I'm sitting awkwardly. I've got a bit of a spine injury and it's a bit awkward this end. My fingers fumble. The guitar moves around. So what I'm doing is I'm going to put it on so they're balanced in the middle. Just going to go to the ribbon 121 a bit. Okay, now with the other thing that really affects our tone here, so we're affecting our tone all the time here now with microphones, with distances, positions, but this one here is really important. So this is the resonance. Now I've just brought the resonance up to 60. We're going to take the resonance all the way out. Bring it back in again. So it's giving us tops as well as we get higher. Now that actually sounds really good. There, I feel like, you know what, Paul? Does that throw a question mark over my level? It feels good like that. Let's come out of there. Now, remembering sometimes we often need to tweak two things. I need to maybe look at my level. Can I come back down to 70? What I'm going to do is I'm just going to park that there for a minute. So I've gone full on the resonance there. And that's the RKV cabinet. Just want to check that across my original because I might just be getting carried away. although I prefer it, it's slightly louder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring that presence back. Now I've got my level on 70. I'm going to come back into that resonance. It's always difficult going the other way, isn't it? When you come down from being loud, it always feels soft. So I'm just going to stop there for a second, because both things are affecting my output level. So I might want to just bring that depth back a touch more. When I say depth, sorry, I mean resonance. So I might end up there at 65. Just going to save it. You know, and I'll listen back to the audio on this video, see how that sounded, and I might make more adjustments. But you're a fly on the wall in this situation. I'm just trying to show you my process. So let's... So that's my original. Now this one's got the settings that the other one started out at. So here we should see, oh, we're at 70. I'm going to leave that on 70. So, but my mic positions are all the same, except what I haven't done. So that might change things. So what I might do is I might put that distance here on 0 for a moment, just so they're kind of a bit more on top of the cabinets. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to try having, I'm going to go to a patch where I've got a clean boost, but let's go to that one. A little bit of verb. Okay, so I'm going to try taking some loops. First loops will go onto the RC, I'm going to keep it short. RC 505, so sound quality won't be quite as good in the low ends. Now what I'm hoping is, in contrast to the last session I did on this, my loops will be more distinguishable from each other. So let's change so different cabinet. Try this one. Go take the loop on the next round. I think I'll do it with that one. Now I've got those loops. I'm going to try doing, going to a different patch, going to my original patch here, and now I'm going to try the 3 different amps. But let's get started. Let's stick on some verbs, stick on a tube screamer. Okay. Let's turn that off. Gonna try a slightly different riff now and see how that sits going through the 3 different amps, and then I'll end the session. Okay, so my feet, my back, my loopers on the floor, and I'm sitting down. I couldn't see my button. Right, so I couldn't end neatly there. Sorry for that. But hopefully we heard the differences of those different changes. And all I've done is change the cabinet. And on these 2 patches in Bank 42, I've got control over the microphones as well, and there it does make a difference. And all I used was a clean boost, and I feel like my mix had more separation in the parts, which is telling me I've got different frequencies going on, different mids, low mids and highs being pushed with different cabinets. Yeah, that felt good in the room. Be interesting to see how that sounds on YouTube. If anyone's got any tips on noise suppression, I'm an old guy, not used to using them, didn't have to use them with my Marshall, or at least I didn't back in the day when I was a kid. Give us a little tip there if there's any particular settings in the deeper settings here with a higher gain. I'm just assuming I need to do a patch that has a higher threshold setting for rhythm and then a lower one for my lead, but let me know if there's any tips there you can help me with. Hopefully you found that interesting. I'll catch you later. Bye.